with Leo and with Mikey. Okay, good, it switched back. Alright. Now, the main thing is, here's one of the things that makes this a lot easier. Jump over a little bit to move the screen forward so that it advances. What that'll do is it'll trigger any enemies that are going to fly at you. You jump back to where you have a safe space and you defeat them, then you jump forward. Also, generally, don't take giant flying leaps, just tap. Do the giant flying leap so you have plenty of room to move the screen over, but when you're actually making the jump, just tap. Also, sometimes, just let enemies kill themselves. Oh great, we switch back again. Okay. And we're clear. And that went fairly painlessly with Donnie the Pizza. Alright! And now we're in the final area. Or the final section of this area. Now I think this enemy set is static. Every time I have come through here, it has always been the mutant set. See, and instantly we switched to the Foot Clan set. I honestly don't know if that's intentional or if it's a programming bug, to be honest with you. This game feels kind of like it didn't get all of the polish that Konami games normally get. It does feel a tad on the buggy side. Now, I have nothing to verify that. I don't know anything about the development. It's just a feeling I get. It's just a tad buggy. So I kind of wonder if the changing enemy sets is a side effect of like a bug or something. Alright, and now we have to fight Mecha Turtle. Who can be a bit of a pain. Okay. And now he reveals his true form. Oh, I definitely want to switch. Leo! You know what? Raph, show him the power of the scrolls. The scrolls are very powerful. Even more powerful than Donatello's bow. So we've rescued Splinter, and we saw a helicopter take off, so now we have to... Area 3 is all about getting the blimp. Okay. Let's see, I don't want to lose Donnie. So what I'm going to do is... Oh boy. Mikey. You're my damage sponge. See, this is a good example of why it's important to... Seriously, stop that. This is why it's important to take the opportunity when you start a new level to heal up your turtles. Otherwise, you're gonna wind up losing some of your turtles, because your health does not get refilled between stages. I know that's abundantly clear, but still. And see, the character set changed again. Now it's down. Now it's the Foot Clan. And see, if you get them down to their smallest, they just bounce all over the place. But sometimes they'll bounce themselves out of the screen entirely, so it's not all bad. Okay, Leo. Okay, I think... Yeah. Okay, Mike's only taking a small amount of damage, so I'm just going to go ahead and go on. I think there will be a small pizza I can use probably later on to heal Michelangelo up. Excuse me. This is another another mazy area. This is going to involve a whole lot of having to find the correct path to get to where you're aiming for. Now, yes. We're trying to get to Underpass 18. Now, you can see from the map, if you look at the map, I didn't know we were talking about that. The map shows the overworld, and all the white spaces are entryways and exits to various buildings and underground paths and what have you. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of them. Now again, I remember the route I have to take, so we're thankfully not going to have to wander around. This one is not quite as wide open and spread, because generally you can tell if you're on the right path if the tunnel numbers are continuously going up. So you have a little bit more of a guide in terms of, am I going the right way? Now, we picked up the rope icon, and the rope is only used 4 times in the game, and only required to be used 3 times. And the 3 times are these areas right here. Basically, you pick up the icon so that you can clear a particular gap. There's one set of buildings in Area 3 that you can use the rope to go between, but you don't even have to go in those buildings, so it's completely unnecessary. It's, I guess, just one of those things that the developers decided to throw in because they could. Which, I can't necessarily argue with that. I guess I'll give it to Mikey. Probably should have gave it to Don, but eh. Alright. We are getting close to being out of the building, and then we're going to start going through the underpasses. Now, another thing that kind of says they may not have fully bug tested this is the amount of slowdown that happens at times. There's a lot of flickering when you get in a lot of enemies or a lot of projectiles on screen. Okay. So now we're on some sort of like military base or airport or something. I'm guessing it's an airport. Now you can see that we're in Tunnel 2. So we can, like I said, you can use the numbers to tell whether or not you're going in the right direction. If they're going up, then yeah, it's a safe bet you're going in the right direction. If they're going down, then you're probably going backwards, obviously. If I'm lucky, I'm not going to have any of my turtles get captured until maybe, at worst, the very end of the game. If not lucky, I'm going to have to rescue one of them. Hoping that won't happen. See, Donatello, he may not have the widest arcs, but with some practice, you can get to where you can hit enemies fairly well with them. And some of these underground paths are really, really... You know what? I'm going to switch to somebody who's got more health, just in case I mess this up. You can hit enemies fairly easily. It just takes practice, like all things. And admittedly, when you're young and you've got lots of free time, especially back when I was growing up and, you know, you had a Nintendo, you were playing Nintendo. Maybe you didn't have Game Boys necessarily until later on. So you didn't have portable systems and some of the other stuff that kids have nowadays to keep them occupied. So the point I'm getting at is, you had a lot of time to basically perfect your game playing. And as a result, you know, for someone who liked Donatello and appreciated the length and strength of his bow staff in the game, well, you use him a lot and you get really used to the way his weapon works. I always enjoy it when you can just skip enemies. Or attack enemies from areas that you can't even be, where they can't even hurt you. Okay. Now, there's not really any enemies in the overhead areas, unlike most of the other stages. You do have to, however, worry about airplanes dropping bombs. Now, I am going to need to switch to Leo for this part, because we are going to be taking some serious risks. Actually, Raph will probably be a good pick. The only thing is, since I gave Raph a set of scrolls, I'm kind of reluctant to pull him out unless I absolutely have to. I do not want to lose those scrolls. Okay. See, here's an opportunity for me to heal up some. Specifically, I want to heal up Don. Alright, there we go, Don. Okay, and I'm going to use this opportunity to top off the health of Leo and I guess Leo, because he's the only other one who's in damage. Alright, thank you for your service, Leo. I appreciate it. Now I'll just go in one more time, top off, die. The main thing is, you have to be thoughtful about when and how you take... that was a wash. When and how you take damage. And take every opportunity to keep your health maxed out. See, this is an example... See, that right there, that's an example of why I'm reluctant to bring out Raph and Mike. Because you never know when an enemy is going to suddenly drop a shuriken, and if you'll quite possibly pick it up before you even have a choice in the matter. Okay, we are almost there. We are at area 15, Route 15. The manual, it's always interesting if you go back and read old video game manuals. The Konami manual writers back in the day would usually have a lot of fun with the plots and the descriptions and whatnot for various games. And they called this JFK Airport. Yeah, I've never been to New York, I've never been to the JFK Airport. Pretty certain it's not this one now. Okay. Now this is tricky. That fire, insta-kill. And I didn't mean to demonstrate it. Okay. That's great. That's just great. Okay. We're gonna have to rescue Donnie. Or, not Donnie. Leo. In Area 5. Guess I will get to show that off. Okay. Anyway, that's what happens. They get captured. You start back at the beginning of whatever little section you were in. It stinks. And there are several insta-kill traps in this stage. So if you're not careful, you will lose a turtle or two. Hoping Leo's gonna be the only one I lose.